tough case that you don't know anything about.
So I should sit back down.
Mr. Weller's sleeping through most of this, but we're going to wake him up here to do our hearing.
I wondered.
And it's got a lot of money involved, and he's not real with it, and he's late, and I'd ask if you would stay, and I apologize.
Anything to make this.
It's another no lunch Monday. Why don't you go ahead and turn it back on for you now? I would have considered even maybe bumping this, but the complainant is here, and he's been waiting for...
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into another unforgettable moment straight from Judge Middleton's courtroom. Shout out to our amazing subscriber Daryl for sending this clip in. Seriously, we appreciate it. The original video comes from Lone Wolf Yuzel, and as always, full credit goes to them. If you followed Judge Middleton before, you know he's all about holding people accountable, no excuses. But this case, it takes things up a notch and perfectly demonstrates why he's earned such respect online. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump in and break down exactly what went down in the courtroom today.
Why People versus Timothy John Weller. Mr. Weller was charged with a felony computer crime, and as I mentioned, we're returning to the bad old days of multiple remands. This matter was bound over to the circuit court on a felony charge. A large amount of money was taken, $8,000, and it got remanded back to our court for a plea and sentencing. Well, I'm not sure I'm ready to do a plea and sentence, but I would be ready to do a plea. They're remanding these matters back for plea and sentence, but by the nature of the fact that they were a felony and came back as a misdemeanor, they're complicated. I don't know what happened. This case got bound over. There were several status conferences. It was going to be set for trial, and it got remanded. And so the remand plea, Mr. Weller, would be to a misdemeanor charge of larceny over $200 but less than $1,000. The original charge was an allegation that you stole $8,000.
This is exactly why Judge Middleton commands so much respect. He understands that dragging out a case like this only compounds the harm for the victim, particularly someone who's already been swindled out of thousands. Rather than letting delays or excuses get in the way, he takes charge and ensures the case moves forward efficiently. That's the mark of a true judge, someone who balances fairness with real accountability. Middleton isn't in the courtroom to coddle wrongdoers. His focus is on making sure justice is served for those who have been wronged.
Punishable by up to 5 years imprisonment and a fine of up to $10,000. The computer part of it is a allegation that used a computer program, computer system, or computer network to steal more than 1,000 but less than 20,000. That's punishable by up to 7 years imprisonment and a fine of up to $5,000. You're also charged as a habitual felon as a fourth felony offense, making this punishable by up to life in prison. So the matter got bound over to circuit court. The can got kicked down the road a little ways, and then it got remanded back here for a plea to a misdemeanor charge of larceny more than $200 but less than $1,000. Mr. Weller, that's a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000 or 3 times the amount of the money taken. In this case, it's alleged to be $8,000. So the prosecutor, and let me confirm this, Ms. Davis, has offered to dismiss the felonies and the supplemental for a plea to larceny over $200. And I understand you inherited this, but thank you for being here.
Quickly looking through the notes, it appears that yes, Prosecutor Marvin had made that offer, larceny 200 to 1,000, and that the restitution was $8,000 joint and several between.
You get the picture, right? The victim's already lost $8,000, money earned through hard work, now gone because of someone else's dishonesty. So why prolong the process any longer? Accept the plea, hold him accountable, and move directly to sentencing. This individual has been given more than enough opportunities to make amends, and every delay only worsens the pain for the person he wronged. At this stage, justice isn't about waiting or giving extra chances. It's about delivering closure. And Judge Middleton knows exactly how to make that happen.
This month with Judge Pattison. All right, Mr. Weller, the allegation is that you're going to be ordered to pay $8,000 restitution, joint and several, with Heather Sproul, one of your co-defendants here. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Could you take your hand away from me? Are you going to plead to that misdemeanor charge of larceny over 200 but less than 1,000?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bush, you confirm that's the plea
Yes,
offer?
it'll be more on an aiding and abetting factual basis, but we have previously discussed that, and this is not a spur-of-the-moment decision today.
All right. Mr. Weller, do you understand that if you do plead to that charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury?
Yes, sir.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. Mr. Bush is here with you. You can also hire an attorney of your own choosing if you wished. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand yourself and testify on your own behalf, but you don't have to because you have a right not to testify, and if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury could not hold your silence against you, and you have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Did you somehow induce the complainant here, Mr. White, to give you $8,000?
No, sir.
Well, tell me what happened.
I was solicited by Miss Heather Sproul to go open an account in my name, and what she did, she stole Mr. Gregory White's phone and transferred the money from his phone into my account. Somehow she got a hold of my account information and transferred the money into my account.
Here's the full story. This guy, along with his accomplice, stole $8,000 from the victim, an amount that initially classified the crime as a felony, sending it straight to circuit court. After some negotiation, however, the charge was reduced to a misdemeanor and sent back to Judge Middleton's courtroom. This is where it gets really compelling. Judge Middleton, alongside Prosecutor Deborah Davis, isn't the type to let offenders slide. They've seen countless cases like this and are committed to ensuring that accountability isn't diluted. As someone who has zero tolerance for theft, I have to admit, watching them manage this case is pure satisfaction. It's justice executed properly. No shortcuts, no sympathy, and no letting anyone manipulate the system.
And then you took $4,000 of that dollars and blew it at the casino?
No, you did not. The only thing I got out of that was like $500.
Well, you must have known there was some nefarious purpose for you to just blankly open an account.
She told me that, Your Honor, not to cut you off, but she told me that she inherited the money from her uncle. So I went and opened the account, and she went and, like I said, stole Mr. White's phone and transferred it. That's how she got his information.
All right, but then you withdrew $8,000 from the Omni
That's
Bank.
because I believed her that she inherited that money, Your Honor. If I had known that, like I told Mr. Gregory White, if I had known it was his money, I would never have done it in the first place.
Timothy stated Heather gave you $3,600 and she kept the rest.
No, that's not true.
Now that's what the police say.
He must have misunderstood what I was trying to tell him.
All right. Well, you didn't just. Yes.
And Mr. We've talked about this, and in retrospect, you realized that it was kind of a hinky thing that
Yeah.
that money was there for just a couple hours, and you were paid either their theory multiple thousands or $500.
I still can't take responsibility for it, Your Honor. What?
All right. So you knew this wasn't all on the up and up.
Right, Your Honor.
And he's open to his share of restitution. I suggest to the court that he wasn't as sophisticated as the other individual to put this together.
He's also not as dumb as he presents here. He knows more than.
I'm willing to pay him back whatever.
Hold on. Are you seriously expecting us to believe that you didn't give her any account information, yet she somehow magically deposited $8,000 into your account without your knowledge? And you didn't think that was even remotely suspicious? Come on. Let's be real. No one's buying that story. Not me. Not Judge Middleton. And certainly not Prosecutor Davis. You can practically see their disbelief as he rambles on. They've heard plenty of weak excuses before, but this one isn't just hard to believe. It's downright insulting to the intelligence of the court.
You see, because she's set for sentencing on a certain date. Let's see if we can line these up. Save the complainant. Well, that can't be right. Set for sentencing on September 5th. So let's see how I look for September 5th at 10:30. It's next Tuesday. I can do it. All right, I'll accept your plea at 10:30. I'm not sure how we're going to do this. Let's say it. Mr. Wilson?
Yes, Your Honor, please the court, I provided transportation for Mr. White because, quite frankly, he has none. And I will not be able to do so during the month of September.
Well, I can. The other case is already set for September 5th. Mr. White, I can give you a bus pass to get here and back on September 5th. So I'll give you round trip bus passes for that morning. But you're going to need to be here for Ms. Sproul anyway. So here's 2 round trip bus passes for you to get here on September 5th. Courtesy of.
What do you mean by whatever the court orders you to pay back? If the court only instructed you to return $1,000, that doesn't absolve you from paying the remaining $7,000. You took $8,000. That's not something you casually shrug off. True remorse isn't about waiting for explicit instructions. It's about taking responsibility and making things right on your own. When someone steals that much, repaying it isn't a punishment. It's simply the basic standard of decency.
I'm going to set this for 11. The other one's at 10:30. Now, you called this morning. You were out of state or you had to be somewhere. How'd you get here today?
Cousin. My cousin brought me all the way back.
All right. How'd you get here to the courthouse?
My cousin drove up here.
Where's he?
He took off. Yeah, I'm supposed to let him know how I'm supposed to get a hold of him because he has no phone now.
Hi. Could you guys check and see if Mr. Weller drove here today? Yes. Thanks. Bye. You've got a terrible driving record.
Yeah, they'll see me getting, Your Honor, I have to cut you off again, but they'll see me getting out of a passenger seat of a maroon or burgundy colored Dodge.
All right.
To the passenger side.
Now, in the
It was in this
report,
parking lot out
you're
here.
talking about driving. The other thing I need to confirm, I don't know whether that interview was recorded. According to the affidavit of probable cause, she gave you $3,600, which you took to Firekeepers and lost, except for $23. Plus, you were driving all over the place.
I learned my lesson from
I made
that,
a
Your Honor.
traffic stop bearing a Michigan temporary plate, made contact with Timothy Weller in the driver's seat. I don't know what I'd do to keep you from driving. So there's a dispute about how much money you took. You don't have 2 nickels to rub together. I'm not very encouraged about this man getting his $8,000 back. But you agree that the restitution will be $8,000 joint and several with Miss
I'm willing, like I said, I'm willing to make this right with him. I mean, I feel bad about it.
Once again, Judge Middleton shows why he's truly a standout. The victim, the man who lost $8,000, is already struggling just to get to court. and the person who usually helps him with transportation isn't available this month. So what does Middleton do? Without missing a beat, he personally arranges free bus passes to ensure the victim can still attend. This is justice with heart, a judge who goes beyond rulings to recognize the human side of the law. And here's the kicker. Those bus passes are funded by the generosity of his YouTube supporters. Every view, every bit of engagement directly contributes to moments like this. It's not just wise judgment, it's genuine humanity in action.
In just going over the bank statement that I pulled up, there may be some withdrawal fees and that sort of thing. So
Okay.
I guess I would like to leave that restitution somewhat open. I mean, it's expected it's going to be around the $8,000, but there may be some fees. I want to get that cleared up so that the victim is made right. But I also have concerns about Mr. Weller's ability to be here himself on Tuesday. And if we have the victim coming back and the other co-defendant, I want to make sure that he is going to be here as well. So I guess I'll leave that to the court's discretion as far as that goes.
I'm willing to come back.
All right, yes. Your bond's canceled.
Let me guess. Your grand plan is to win it all back on the nickel slots, right? Sorry, but that story doesn't hold up. Gambling your way to redemption isn't a plan. Until you come up with a real strategy that doesn't feed your own addiction, no one's going to take your promise to repay seriously. This isn't about luck anymore. It's about owning up to your responsibilities. The era of excuses is over, and if your only idea is to bet your way out of debt, you're not learning anything. Even the judge's patience is starting to wear thin at this point.
We'll deal with it. That's next Tuesday, which is 8 days. Stealing $8,000 from this guy certainly develops at least 8 days. Plus, you keep driving a damn car.
No, I think he's been in jail for upwards of 45 days in this case.
Yeah, he bonded out. I'm not sure how. But I set the bond at the amount that was stolen. I think it got reduced when it was remanded, and I don't like these remands, and there's not much I can do about it. But they come in; they're always difficult to deal with. Yes, your bond's canceled. You're no longer presumed to be not guilty. I will see you next Tuesday at 11 o'clock.
One more custody.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What am I going to deal for?
Your bond's canceled.
What?
Here's one way to make sure he actually shows up. Cancel the bond, put him in custody, and have the sheriffs escort him to his next court date. No more excuses, no more "I overslept" stories. This time, he'll be exactly where he's meant to be. It's not about being unnecessarily harsh. It's about being practical. When someone treats the court like a joke, Judge Middleton ensures the consequences hit exactly where they should. In handcuffs, not in misplaced sympathy.
Plus, you showed up late and slept through most of the earlier proceedings. I'm not sure what's going on with you, but I hope you're in a better state of mind when I see you next Tuesday morning. All right, you're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So why am I being arrested for? I don't understand. I've almost got my plea then.
Oh, it's too late for that. We can discuss
Why am I
that
being
next
arrested for, man? I ain't
You're
doing anything wrong,
you're
man.
not arrested. You pled guilty to stealing $8,000
No, I pled guilty.
and then canceled your bond.
Man, it's crazy, man.
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
One of us is. All right, I'll
By admitting guilt, you've acknowledged your role in a scheme that defrauded someone out of $8,000. Once you enter a guilty plea, the constitutional presumption of innocence no longer applies. You've effectively removed that protection yourself at this point. The court doesn't need to make assumptions. The facts are clearly documented, and you've confirmed them with your own admission. What remains now isn't a question of guilt. It's a matter of facing the consequences.